The weather turns cool and along come 500 chores to keep you hot. So you still need real refreshment. What you're hoping to find is a real thing. It's a real thing. Oh, that's the way it should be. Coca-Cola wants to say it's the real thing. Coca-Cola is cold.
It has been months of duty. Since leaving the Helena system and all that transpired there, the Avicenna, of course, resumed its initial mission, which was famine relief in a nearby star system. Because of the delays caused by serving in the Helena system, the famine had the opportunity to take root, and it turned out that it wasn't an environmental disaster, rather it was a plague, a botanical plague. So months of labor-intensive duty going through all the colonies and establishing the correct protocols for safety to not transfer the plague from place to place, and of course ferrying the corrective technology to deal with the plague and re-establish growth. All of these things have transpired, exhausting the crew of the Avicenna. Right? Tedious, long, highly important, highly stressful drudge work with real human suffering underlying it all. As people are starving, as people a whole sense of being is being wiped out. So, as a result of a near fatal mission on Xenon 5, a highly charged combat mission by surprise and in the Helena system, and then months of grueling toil dealing with a famine, the Avicenna has been directed to Starbase 11 for R&R and resupply and other training opportunities. Ensign Yang has discovered that due to his service on Xenon 5, he has been asked to offer a training course for Starfleet cadets who are going into the same career path that he has exemplified. There are
a thankless, dangerous, no promotion path. Is that the one you're talking about?
That one, yeah. And Lieutenant Korsakov has been asked to appear as a witness at a hearing for the reinstatement of Captain Stian Anders to the command seat of the Avicenna. These hearings have been going on for a few weeks now and reportedly are nearing their end, but the proceedings are sealed. So, there is no scuttlebutt, there's no rumors about how they're proceeding, but he's been asked to report as a witness at Starbase 11. The court is being presided over by Commodore Stone. Commodore Stone, not too long ago, was ceded control over the aid and relief mission profile.
Did we not run into that name during the pilot?
To be honest, I avoided deciding that early on if I wanted Commodore Stone, but during the pilot, I personally decided that I liked him for the role.
Right.
And so our opening scene is the excitement in the crew as it's announced that we're orbiting Starbase 11, and that the roster for rest and relaxation ashore has been posted, and then we cut to the opening music.
space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Avicenna. Its ongoing mission to respond to danger, relieve suffering, and to raise the downtrodden.
Okay. Episode 2. The first scene will be in Transporter Room 2 aboard the Avicenna. Present are Embuto, Korsakov, Yang, and Anya Smith. While you decide who you want to play, I'm going to risk you.
I think for now, any scene that has a transporter and Yang, I'll play Yang.
Got it. I have decided that I'm going to make good on my threat, at least and see how it goes. And Korsakov, with his leg presumably,
Has it been fully
obviously under medical treatment, or at the end of it, we spent time, right? So, but still, there's an injury on hand here. Right. So he's clearly still visibly under treatment. Is not going to be whom I play. I'm gonna go with Embuto, and we have not assigned him a value yet, have we? But we're allowed to.
Yes.
For his reappearance.
Right. And we could have done that actually in episode 1, but it didn't happen, I think.
Yes.
So and we did give a value to Anya, correct?
Yep.
I think we gave the value to Embuto and we waffled on giving it to Anya.
Is that so? So which value did we give to Embuto then? Because
it was something about self-reliance or something like that.
Yeah, yes. Self-reliance stuff. Yeah. Right. Okay. So that's pretty important in deciding like who to play and what to do with them and stuff like that. So I think you're right that it was about some nuance of self-reliance for him. Okay. In that case, I wanted to play the one without a value, so I will play Anya and we'll give her a value. Right. Okay. And with her, it's very definitely the mission over, or rather the accomplishment over the self-interest, right? It's
the mission.
It's very much about
reward kind of thing.
Well, yeah, although not even the letter of the mission, the spirit of the mission over the letter, because you follow the letter, you'll get rewarded. You'll get, it's in your interest to do that. So it's, I don't know, the spirit of the mission, comes first or something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Sound okay? Yeah.
I like it a lot. My hands are full. Casey, could you make a
right.
note of those two things in the wiki?
Okay. Yep.
So there you are in Transporter Room 2.
Right. So
Transporter Chief Ahern Doyle. Right?
Boyle or Doyle, can't remember.
Doyle.
Okay.
Is, of course, there. That's his duty station, right? And he is looking very serious, maybe a little jealous. And the only reason for that must be that his R&R is much later in
the rotation.
In the rotation than everybody else. Right. And you are among the first. Now, of course, Korsakov has to be in his dress uniform.
Right.
Ensign Yang can report either in his normal duty uniform, or he can go more formal.
Oh, I have to represent. I have to talk to cadets, so I have to go informal. Oh dearie,
You're
It
duded up
makes things-
too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to be too czarist about it, but definitely there is a very definite, the educated viewer will note some historical accuracy to the Russian trim on the dress. I mean, if you, as I recall from the original series, you get to be ethnic with your dress uniform. So, what with kilts and whatnot. So I'm going to, just without knowing much or referencing too much, the knowing viewer will go, he's in his dress uniform and it's risky. Right.
Plus, it's shinier, right? The more of a
right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is what we see as our first post-commercial situation, and Hearn with his glum face, he's bidding you a good time below, but he also gives you a warning. He says, I'd be on my best behavior if I were you, ladies and gentlemen. I heard that there's a contingent of Federation bigwigs on the station. There's a lot of security and a lot of attention. I heard they're negotiating with representatives of the Gorn. And then he makes eye contact directly with Ensign Yang and says, "But I suppose you already know that."
Ensign Yang shrugs, but he also has a just as glum face as what's his name again?
Doyle.
Yeah.
Doyle. Chief
yeah.
Doyle.
Yeah, but he also just has just as glum face as Doyle of being in this room rather than going down earlier than everyone else.
Yeah.
All right, if I'm going to be able to play Anya here, then I definitely think it's time to express her value, not her minted value, newly minted value out of the gate, which is, we all know what we're here for, Chief. Just get us down, please.
Well, I'll see if I can get a lock, although I think the young ensign is shaking in his boots and makes it difficult to get
Ensign Yang,
an accurate
Ensign
reading.
Yang just wants to bring up a suggestion in his most diplomatic way. Why can't we just go down to Starbase 11 with a shuttle? We'll save some trips.
He is shaking in his boots.
I just don't understand why do we have to use the transporter.
That's enough of that, mister. And then I'm like, no, that's not enough of that. He is shaking in his boots. Good point. Yeah.
So Doyle is loving this, right?
Yeah, we're good. Might as well, Anya's going to be looking at Yang. It's like, yeah, get in the transporter. What the fuck? I just told him to get us down. Who's delaying things now?
After taking his verbal smackings, he'll just have to obediently stand on the transporter pod.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
Anya, could I have an insight and command roll,
All right.
please?
All right. So, kid in the back of the class wants his target numbers.
Yep. Insight and command would be 12.
Okay. I'm just going for the 2 dice. No biggie.
No, yeah.
I get 2 successes.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, as you've accurately assessed, Ensign Yang is shaking in his boots. There's real trauma here.
Oh. All right. In that case, I will say, okay, that's enough, Doyle. Ensign Yang knows what to do. And so that's like the second time. It's like, all right, that is way enough out of you. Mr. Transporter Beeper guy. And then I'll turn, okay. Ensign, it'll be all right this time.
And Xing Yang just says, yes, ma'am, but with his glum expression, and he's just giving her this look like, I trust you.
It's got to be right. Right. Yeah. Bit of an implication. Maybe we will take this into account or address it, when we get the chance. Yeah. I could, if it's okay to mention the supporting characters, even though I'm not playing them, could it be that the two men, the two like older guys, look at just shoot a quick look at each other, like, is there a thing? There seems to be a thing. I sense a thing. Do you sense a thing? Yeah. Right. They just quick look to each other. Right.
Why so serious?
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, that means we have to watch one of them decay. It hurts so much when they decay.
Unless you want to use them for something.
Well, that would be dragging out our scenes now, wouldn't it? We don't want to be dragging out our scenes.
This could be the whole lickety split on this. This could be the whole scene. This could be the point of the scene.
I think I'm done with the scene. If anyone else is, I don't know if we'll negotiate that or Anthony just says.
All right.
No, I'm good.
So we lose one, but we keep one.
We keep one. That's good enough.
Could be worse.
Excellent.
I weep one tear per decayed momentum. Right. I lose one. Damn it. Right. That's a fucking complication for the enemy that we just lost. Right there. Yeah.
Okay. The beam down goes without incident.
Ensign Yang checks anyways.
While sure you don't want to roll for the ship for that, Anthony? Just to keep Ensign Yang.
I'm okay with it this time. Going pad to pad is especially with a highly skilled and experienced
officer. It's a Starbase, it's not like, right.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Nothing.
Yeah, that's what we should have kept the scene going, was force a roll for the transporter. I should have thought of that.
All right. Yeah. So the beam down goes without incident, and Lieutenant Korsakov and Ensign Yang have places to be. Now, it turns out that Embuto has also been called
to be a witness. He has.
But he's not a witness today.
Okay.
But he does have to, report for duty to demonstrate that he's here and a bunch of other things. So our first scene at the Starbase will feature those two characters. Okay. So we are in the main Starfleet base. You're in a waiting room. Out the window, you can actually see this. All right. So you are waiting for an opportunity to see Commander Stone or Commodore Stone. I'm going to mess that up through the entire thing. So Commodore Stone. And
that shit matters a lot to people who are embedded in it, and the rest of us are kind of like, yeah, okay. Right.
Well, just if you just like to be able to use your own language well, that's kind of annoying. That's not the word I wanted to say.
Hey, I'm the one who mixed up Elas and Troyes as terms like incessantly for four sessions. So,
right. Well, we're human and resolute, so we will survive. The Commodore Stone's attaché. She's a civilian attaché, not one of his subordinates from the Starfleet side, is there to greet you. And so when she looks up, of course, she has no idea right away who the two of you are, and says, "This is Commodore Stone's office. How can I help you?"
Korsakov does whatever the GM says he does. Embuto says, I identify myself. I'm here to
I just want
report
to
my presence.
Insert myself for a second. If you choose Embuto, that leaves no one for KC to play.
Oh, KC. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Sorry. All right.
I
In that
understand
case,
the motivation,
right.
but yeah.
Right. Okay. I am forced into the body of my main character. Korsakov. Right. Korsakov. Okay. Good enough. Lieutenant Commander Rodion Korsakov, reporting for appearance at the meeting. I mean,
Ah,
at the hearing.
yes,
Right.
Lieutenant Korsakov. I understand you recently suffered medical disability.
Rock solid impassivity. I have no time for obviosity.
The Commodore will be delayed for an hour, and he would like you to check in with the Starbase chief surgeon. It's standard
All right.
procedure.
Yeah. Okay. That's I'll go as directed.
So she gives you
Yeah.
a colorful tape, right? Everything that you need is here, and there's a console in the connecting room. And then she turns to Embuto.
Who has his hands on his chest pointing towards himself like, what about me?
Right.
And are you ensign? And then she fumbles a bit. She says, "Are you First Officer Embuto?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm under the command of Captain Tulek.
Yes.
Acting first officer.
Commander Tillich. Yes.
Oh man, acting first officer under acting captain. Swell. Starfleet hates this shit.
My instructions are that you are also to report to the chief medical officer for your psychiatric evaluation.
And then he
Again.
points his fingers at Korsakov like, there too?
Yes, and she hands you an identical looking tape.
All right. And he takes the tape, thanks the attaché, and whatever appropriate name that he or she is.
She, yeah.
Okay. And heads towards to the terminal.
Right.
Slots in the tape.
Okay, Korskov, I'm turning to you. I'm turning to you and saying, we need to talk. Let's stop here. And I'm kind of hoping there's a concourse and that same scene or different angle on it is available.
Yeah, like you leave her
yeah.
her antechamber and are out in a concourse to cross the hallway.
Big window, right. So we'll go and like off the moving pedwalk if there is one, and over we got it. We have to talk. All right.
Yeah.
Shall we give over that artifact? They know enough, and I don't see that thing is a menace. It almost got us all destroyed, and who knows what it was activated back on Xenon 5. We've caused enough trouble. I can't to let them reinstate Captain Anders. I mean, he's a maniac. He came back from the dead. We don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, you've already suffered enough. I mean, your career's been ruined. I just have to let you know, I'm going to tell them that they need to take over this thing. It can't be sitting on the Avicenna anymore.
But you have to think, Korsakov, what it can do or what it has done. Putting in the hands of Starfleet could mean ramifications throughout Starfleet. This is a risk that we are carrying for Starfleet. This is not a risk that we are avoiding for the Avicenna.
Do you really? Okay. Do I understand that you're not going to tell them about that artifact and what we did with it?
Not unless they ask us about it. If they know, they know, but they still have to give us the orders to hand it over. Otherwise, I don't see any reason why we should do that.
Anthony, what are the rules, the systemic possibilities of this interaction?
Oh, you mean like trying to persuade each other?
Or right, or I think it's actually Mbuto trying to persuade me.
Yeah.
No, and I am willing to go with what the role does because this is actually really ambiguous for my character.
Sure.
So,
And I totally support that. I mean, the game is silent on it. The way that I approach this in any game that's silent about it is that if player
system's just sitting there.
player
Yeah.
in character presents an in character argument to another character and we are unsure how persuasive it might be, then we go to the dice. Or if the character is vastly more charismatic or whatever than the player, then we can go to
right.
So we can certainly go to the dice. Mbuto we've pictured as being very, in a sense, stoic, right? Not unlike Tillich. Independent, fact-based,
deeply intuitive in using facts too. Really able to piece things together.
Things that other people don't see, and he's grown tired over the years of explaining all the details, so he just tells them the point.
And he made a calculated risk, and he agrees. We agree this thing is freaking dangerous, right? And tell me, I mean, if KC, I mean, I think that's one thing we characters do agree on. This thing is freaking dangerous. The only question is, do we concentrate it like on us? Do we take the weight?
Right. That seems to be the thing, right?
And Mbuto takes the weight.
Contention. Yeah.
And Mbuto's argument, as I heard it, was altruism.
Yeah.
Right. We take the weight. We take the risk. Versus Korsakov saying maybe duty. We should turn this thing over before it harms others.
Well, not only that, but I mean, the risk is really hideous, and and also I feel bad. I mean, I didn't get busted in rank for the events that in the past in the backstory, and Mbuto did. So, I mean, if we go into that hearing, I mean, he's going to get expelled from Starfleet if he. I mean, that's what I'm worried about. He's going to get expelled, and I'm not that comfortable with having that thing broadcasting psychic, come and do us messages to whatever artifact we may run into in the future. So, all right, I'm ready for the role now that I've got a clue here. So
I'd like to represent it as an opposed role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. They're both trying to make a point. So, well, let's keep it very simple. Presence and command.
Okay.
This is difficulty 1 because it's an opposed role, and there are no other factors that will bring that difficulty down. Right. And so failure is possible by not getting any successes, but you're still, as an opposed role, trying to do better than the other person.
Right. I am not going to draw on that point of momentum.
I'm going to buy track. Okay. 1 dice with track.
I like it. I like it. I have added it to the pool, and so our pool is now 5.
Presence and command, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, presence and command, and the difficulty is 1.
I 1, and I have 3 dice while Korsakov has 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Let's see.
I have 1 success, but no better.
Korsakov has
met the difficulty and 0 more.
Momentum.
Right. Yeah.
Korsakov has 2 successes.
Wait, you mean Mbuto?
Sorry, Mbuto has 2 successes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So Mbuto makes the better argument.
Or makes the case. Yeah. Yeah.
The logical.
Well, if it's logical, I mean, it's kind of that's my question. Let the viewer decide on that one. And so it doesn't
mean it's permanent, right?
Okay.
It's not a trait.
No, I get that.
It's not an advantage.
But for this purpose, I'm swayed. So I'm going to stay cagey on the precise the disposition of the artifact. I don't know if we're going to go as far as to lie, but if they don't bring it up, then we're not going to bring it up.
Yeah,
That's what I'm getting.
That's kind of like the bottom line for.
I'm kind of. I know what I'm kind of. I just realized how I'm going to. I'll say it. Well, I guess it all depends then on what his evaluation here is, and I guess that makes the most sense. They can decide whether he's fit for command. They've got their metrics, right?
Exactly.
They've got their.
Okay. The next scene is in medical, and they take Mbuto, off in one direction, and they take Korsakov
You go that way, and I go the leg way.
In another direction. Now, Korsakov
Head room there, leg room there.
Korsakov will have a psychiatric examination at a later date.
I can't wait.
But this was deemed more important.
Whatever happens to Kirk in these situations? That's what I want to know. How many of these has he been through? How did he ever make it through? Traumatized by genocide as a kid, traumatized
that's right.
by terrible early mission, split in half, evil side, accused of rape, had to kill his best friend on the planet. God, first season alone, Kirk would have been drummed out like a snare drum in the first, through this process. All right, on we go. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry. So there's a lengthy medical review, and then we're looking back to treatment during the famine crisis by Jim, the Andorian doctor, whose idea of bedside manner exemplifies Korsakov's value of toughen up. He has been studying human proverbs, and in Korsakov's case has liked to crack out, pain is just weakness leaving the body. And as he hates weakness, he's been inflicting pain as his... Now, this was a disruptor wound, which caused,
plenty of tissue trauma. Right.
Exactly. So there was a lot of debriding of the flesh. There were primitive regeneration treatments and horrific. And through it all, the choice has been looming before Korsakov. Right. You will have a better quality of life faster if you agree to prostheses. If you'd like to recover, right? So we have two routes of avoiding the complication, right? In Jim's hands, he can remove the ruined leg and replace it with a prosthetic, and you will go back to normal life. Or he can work toward rehabilitation, which will take months and months and months.
Well, this is science fiction, and it's before the $6 Million Man, which aired in 1974.
It's a spin-off.
We can get the cred for the. But do I understand correctly? This is normal function that's restored.
Normal
no
function.
Super
It's not
perfect.
super.
Perfect.
Function.
Right. Perfect. In that case, yeah, I'm toughening up. I'm taking it, and no excuses. No excuses for doing the right thing. I've got values that are on the line here, and I don't need to challenge those values. I am going to live with those values, and I'm going to say to, I'm going to say to Jim, use what you know, make it work.
So to be clear, you're going for the prosthetic?
I am.
Okay. And so this medical meeting is to better fit Korsakov with a better matching prosthetic than what Jim was able to,
Mm-hmm. Ooh, so we get to actually see it. Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So what Jim had provided for Korsakov was a generic model available on the Avicenna. here at Starbase 11, of course, the entire panoply of Federation technology is available. And so the Starfleet doctor is commends Korsakov on his toughness, right? And so we can do a lot about this scarring and about this fit. Who
My
did
only
this?
response, it's all in the report, Doctor.
Okay.
Let's get this. You know, I need to get back to work.
All right. And we cut from here, and Ensign Yang is moving down the promenade. Anya is still there, and so is Ensign Parker, our navigator who did her best to avoid the particle wave at Xenon 5. All right. She came down in a later beaming and is
And she's the one who stood up for him in the cafeteria.
Yes. Right. So she's kind of orbiting the group. You want to play her? Okay. So you're Parker, Ensign Parker, and Joanne Parker, and Ensign Yang, and Anya. All right. And in the distance, Ensign Yang is the only one to notice because he's the only one of this group who has seen him before. He sees Lieutenant Yang, his brother, formerly
who has
of
been actually given a comfy, relaxing, non-distressing, pleasant little vacation by the Gorn.
who has just been returned to a Federation starbase by the Gorn.
Oh, all those people are happy, well rested, you know.
Right. So Lieutenant Yang is much thinner than the last time, and it's obvious even to people who haven't seen him before, right? He's sunken
Right.
and not a healthy glow to his skin, and maybe the beginning of male pattern hair loss and graying around the temples, even though he's
What are you trying to say, Anthony?
not much older than we're all there. Not much older than Ensign Yang, but he looks careworn, right? And he doesn't notice his younger brother, but you're moving toward each other in this promenade, and of course it's very, very busy, right? And there's windows along one side with the purple sky and the bluish sun, and there's lots of shuttle traffic and whatnot. It's a very, very busy place, very noisy. There's messages filling the hallway of different personnel required to be in different places, and
Am I supposed to be heading towards the academy?
you will have to report for duty for and set up the timetable for your training sessions with the cadets.
Am I at liberty on my R&R, or do I
Joanne
have
Parker,
something?
you're at liberty. You don't even have to be in uniform.
Awesome. I'm totally not in uniform, and I'll say, using Ensign Yang's first name, which is going to be revealed at this time, which is...
You know what? I actually do like Andrew.
Okay. I'm really sorry I said that, but I'm stuck with it now. Okay. So she'll say,
Yangish.
excellent. She'll say, well, Andrew, I'm at liberty. So when are you done with your class? Or when are you done reporting? When are you free?
And Parker notices that Yang doesn't seem to be listening because his head is pivoting around through the promenade as though he's seeing someone.
What's wrong?
Then he turns back at Parker. Puts his hands up. I need to go. I need to go somewhere. Enjoy yourselves. And he detaches himself from his little party.
Oh, the two women are definitely going to give the equivalent of what the guys did in the transporter room, right? Also, is that a thing? Did you see a thing? Right?
Yang's very good at doing that.
Joanne is way too unstereotyped to look sad in a high school prom way, but it takes an effort.
So what do you do, Ensign
Ensign
Andrew
Yang
Yang?
makes his way through the crowd, confirming first that who he sees is his brother, and then finally, once he gets the visual confirmation, walks up to him and calls him out. And let's give him another English name.
Cool. You want to go biblical? Have him be like a Peter or a John or...
I don't know why, but the first name that pops in my head is actually Joshua.
Joshua.
Go figure.
Fantastic.
Go figure. Yeah.
All right, swallowed. Okay. So he, his eyes focus, and he stands up a little straighter, and he stammers out, "You look good."
Oh man, poor guy. I'm feeling bad already.
Then he looks at Joshua. You look like you have been better.
Gorn food. You have to catch it.
Is everything all right? I mean, you're here and all, but I'm saying like everything well in the inside.
Could I have an insight and command roll, please?
Insight and command. That's a 12. Okay. I will not be spending momentum on this. Do I want to spend threat?
You want to spend threat?
No, not for this. Not for this. And presence? Sorry, insight. Insight. And command.
Wait, hang on. Before you tell me anything, I'm spending a point of threat. Hang on. To increase the complication range by 2.
That means 18 will be a complication. Fortunately, no, and I have no focuses to apply as well, so there'll be just 2 successes straight up.
2 successes? Wow. Okay. That gives you no momentum, I'm afraid. Sorry, but...
Works enough.
Tough situation, right? Fraught.
No, I lie. I'm thinking about the complication range. That was a difficulty 0 roll. You earned 2.
Oh, so 2. Okay. I know. I already know.
Gather information.
Yeah, exactly.
Gather information.
How I wanted to spend those 2.
Yeah,
but it'll depend on Joshua's answer.
On obtain information? Okay.
I mean, do we have a basic?
The basic information is that your brother, who says, "I'm fine, don't worry about it," is lying, and not his usual older brother has to be role model to younger brother kind of thing. He's flat out.
Or busting your chops or anything either. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Is lying for a reason. All right.
So something's really, really not well.
Yep. Obtain information 1.
Okay. And I'll spend that. Okay. There are there's obvious signs of stress. All of your brother's stress-related triggers are evident. You know, the excessively stiff posture, the very blank face. You know, and but he's, culturally speaking, he wouldn't be meeting your eyes directly anyway, right? But in this case, he's looking away, right? As if looking for someone else, and he's trying to fake being busy rather than just wandering around the promenade, which was obvious that he was doing. That's your first point of moment.
Nope. I'll spend the second one just as well.
Okay. I will spend that. And The second thing Ensign Yang notices about his brother is that he has a civilian communicator, okay, likely issued by the Starbase,
Okay.
and there is a message light beeping.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Which
dude.
their brother is studiously
Donnie.
ignoring, you know.
Phone's ringing, dude. I know, Donnie.
So I would like to point that out. You know, it's obvious that it's ringing, but it's not in like a we both know it's ringing kind of look. Right?
It's just a blinking light, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't know that I know.
Right.
That sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. No, so I think my thought process or my steps, I'm going to talk about his captivity, and given the current situation that we are in right now, I'm just going to try to talk to Joshua. You know, you don't have to act tough in front of me right now. You've been through a lot. I know you've been through a lot, and you're back here. You're safe. If you need to let something out, you know, you can just let it out to me. I'm your brother.
You know, I've been reassigned back to the Potemkin, and I report for duty in a couple of weeks. After they check me out here. I heard the doc's a real backbreaker, and you know he keeps glancing down at the communicator,
and then that's where I bring it up and like, do you wanna pick it out?
No, I don't. It's Mom. She's here.
Here?
I know you don't do this, but the thought of you suddenly going into a defensive crouch does occur to me. I know you don't do it, but yeah, exactly. but if it were that kind of show, you would have. But yeah.
But yeah, then it's like, okay, so the initiative has sort of turned. Like, Yang is not the one. Like, tell me more.
Right.
What do you mean she's here?
So is Dad. They are pushing for a greater role for aid and relief. I mean, they spearheaded its creation. They pushed for Commodore Stone, and I think they're going to use it to put themselves at the forefront of the Gorn negotiations.
Parents are scary.
Well, with my experience with the Gorn, that's probably not something that's going to be fruitful. I know what you're doing, but it's not something that's gonna really help out in any way.
There's a real flash of anger in his eyes. Is your experience with the Gorn? Look,
you
I know you got to be somewhere. I've got to be somewhere. I'll see you tonight.
If they're here, they're obviously staying somewhere. Are they? Do you know where that is?
He points over, to the information kiosk, but he also points out the way. Like he catches himself, right? He makes himself less of a jerk in that moment with a supreme effort of will, and he points, out the window to, this resort area, right? They're in the penthouse of Tower 2. Where else would they be?
All right. I mean, if you have to go, you have to go. I mean, you probably have a few more evaluations to go through anyways.
Yeah. Unlike, the younger brother with the nearly flawless record. And I'm going to apply.
Congratulations on your flawless record. That's the, yeah.
Well, he said nearly flawless.
Nearly flawless.
And I've just added a point of threat as a result of that exchange.
Nice.
Okay. Next.
Oof. Sinister
scene.
undertones abound.
Next scene. In this scene, we have Anya Smith, who is going to be serving as a coordinating communications officer for the cadets, because she was also present on Xeon 5. Right. So she's going to be doing things like replicating the communication difficulties and in an authentic manner.
Oh, so they got to run a simulation or something?
Yes.
And a certain miscommunications from the weapons department.
Yes. There's massive firing. Yeah.
And this happened. This is what you don't do.
All right. So, the cadets are going to be running through a drill. However, what they're going to drill to do, which is a high-speed descent in a warp-capable shuttle through simulated turbulence. The turbulence is going to be simulated by the actual shuttle. It's been programmed to respond as if, right? And then simulate a landing on an unstable surface. And the unstable surface is an actual physical prop of instability, right? So that part, they'll have complete control over the ship, but they won't have complete control over what they're landing on. There is risk. There are medical teams standing by.
Right.
Some of them are drawn from the Avicenna, right, as part of their ongoing training procedure, and some of them are Starbase 12 personnel, and some of them are the cadets. Right. So there's actual real risk represented in this simulation. So Ensign Yang has to do it first, and then if he doesn't die, then the cadets will try. He probably won't die, but anyway, then the cadets will try, and he will have influence over their performance. Okay. So, Ron, if you could take on the role of Anya. Okay, so I'll fill you in on it's departing. You're actually going to depart from the Avicenna, right, in the Fontana,
Right.
and descend down through simulated turbulence to then land on a landing pad near in a desert area. As you can see, Starbase 11 is not the beachside resort property of other colony worlds. So this will be a series of rolls to achieve your task. Right? So in game terms, it's a gated challenge. It's not an extended task.
Right.
So leave the Avicenna, navigate the chop, land on the pad.
Okay.
The problem is that there will be an escalating difficulty. Right?
Okej. Ingen problem. Det var inte viktigt.
Excellent. Mazel tov.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
All right. So it's
just
my
to state it
first
up front in
challenge.
case I forget later, leaving the Avicenna is going to be difficulty 1.
One.
Navigating through the simulated turbulence is going to be difficulty 2. Landing
last.
on the unstable surface is going to be difficulty 3.
And Anya is saying, it says, get ready. I'll provide all the stellar communications just as we recall.
Right. Okay. So we're going to start out actually with Anya Smith. I would like a control and con roll from her. And if
You know what? Is there kind of like a mock-up or like cut out version of her station there, like with the cadets to see?
Yeah.
Or is she just like, is it all on Yang, or are there people on, that she's involved with, that's watching her and what she's
There
doing?
are people watching her.
Perfect. Okay. So in fact, I'll even say, okay, so here is where this is coming in. This is what I have to coordinate. Okay, here we go.
Right.
So target.
What was it again?
Control and
Control
calm.
and calm. That's
Right.
10.
Ooh, that's all?
Yep.
Okay.
It's actually
Now
one of
this
the
is-
worst.
This is difficulty 1.
Okay. Ooh.
Right.
Well, you know what? Hey, threat for we got to have some threat,
Perfect.
right? Another die, right?
Sure.
All right. Because I mean, what's the point of this exercise without a little threat? We've been reminded several times that there is risk. I don't see enough risk.
Recalling this moment from the pilot episode, and this is when the Romulan appeared.
Right. Mhm.
I'm going to spend 2 threat to increase the complication range to 16.
Lovely.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go.
That's really good.
Boy, they don't mess around in Star Trek. Oh, well, we're going to add another complication with my 20. And then the other 2, however, are successes,
Okay.
including if a focus, does she get a focus?
Yes.
Subspace
Okay.
comms
In that
protocol?
case, she rolled a 3 on one
Okay.
die. So that's nice. We actually ended up with
Oh,
3 successes.
actually no, because
No?
the con's 1.
Okay. Then not. Okay.
Yes. So nothing. Okay.
Okay, bummer. All right, but 2 successes and a complication,
There you go.
which is a nice meaty roll, really.
Yeah. And she generates 1 point of momentum.
Excellent. Also handy. So yes, clickety clickety.
The the complication I'm going to introduce to the scenario is that there are several variations on the turbulence simulator, right? And Anya's launch of the mission has paired Yang up with a particularly aggressive one. So his turbulence roll, which is not this roll, it's the next one, is going to be increased in difficulty by 1. Okay, so the departing in the Fontana from the Avicenna, difficulty 1, control and con, Ensign Yang.
Oh, I still get a roll.
The Avicenna, the Fontana is now fully in her fleet colors, right? Adorned with the Avicenna's name and designation, her own designation, and the new symbol, right, inside the Starfleet Delta of the medical and rescue branch.
So this is still difficulty 1.
This is still difficulty 1.
Control and calm.
Yes.
This is the departure. I think I will still stick with the standard roll to D20.
The difficulty really represents that you're demonstrating proper procedures and talent to cadets who are making note of everything. It's a training exercise for them. It's not can Yang fly out of the ship. It's can Yang teach the lesson.
Right. So it's 2 successes, no focuses. So it's just straight up.
Okay. 1 momentum.
There's 1 momentum.
In hand. Would you like to bank it, or do you have a use for it?
At this stage, I'll bank it.
Okay.
We're still in the scene.
Okay. Now, Anya, you've recognized that this particularly aggressive storm front is going to be facing Ensign Yang, and you are the communications officer. You're imagining that there's a sensor officer reporting
Right.
to you.
Sensor reports, class 4, magnetic storm, arising. Prepare for increased, turbulence. So I'm demonstrating to the cadets that you don't let shit like this blindside your pilots. They need to know this is coming in.
Right. And this allows Anya to contribute an assistance die to Anson Yang and the scene.
So I'm still leading the first row.
Okay. So this will be difficulty 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm spending a point of threat to increase the complication range to 18.
To 18. Wow. Okay. Yang will spend 1 threat for 1 dice.
Okay.
We will spend 2 momentum for the second dice. If
2
there's,
momentum
I believe there's,
for the second die. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen here just so we can get a visual update.
I believe there should be, because it's only 1 last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So those will be
We have
gone.
2 left.
No, I've already taken,
We've already taken
the
off.
ones
We have
out.
2
So
left.
Okay.
there are 2
Okay,
so-
left in the pool.
So
That's good.
it's difficulty 3,
3.
control and con with a complication range of 18.
Yep. You got this.
Mm-hmm. And since I spent, okay, we'll talk about it. Excellent. Small craft focus applies.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's 2 successes. Hold on. Oh no, that's not. That's just straight 3 successes, but I roll a 20.
Okay.
And I do get to contribute my role as
Yep.
well
Yes.
because of this success. And I get 1 success.
1 success. All right.
Okay.
And while we're still on the roll,
Yep. This has
Since I
produced a point of
spend-
momentum. Okay.
and yes.
Leave me some
I'm-
momentum for my hearing, if you would. I'm going to need it.
That's actually going to be where I use my untapped potential. Since
Right
I
on.
spent the momentum. Yeah.
Okay. So you'd like to re-roll a die?
No, untapped potential is the one I rolled the challenge dice.
Oh, right. Apologies. Okay.
So,
So-
you can get another threat, or at least 1 momentum. Or in Yang's fashion, it's usually tapped potential.
Tapped potential. Yeah. Hang on a second. There's the challenge die, and I'm going to roll it. And we get 2 successes.
Wow. 2 momentum.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's actually much better than expected.
Yeah, you got to get in this game. You got to keep trying stuff so the gears finally engage, and then you're getting your, get your bank going
Stuff.
if you can.
All right,
Yeah.
so here's where we're sitting now. As Yang enters the chop, and I get to introduce a complication for that 20,
20. Yeah.
right? Which is pretty fantastic for me.
The gear shift comes off in his hand.
Well,
Like, whoa!
the Fontana, right? In response to the storm, right, has shut down navigational sensors, which makes navigation by, with computer assist, impossible.
Impossible.
So Yang has to complete the landing using his own mental calculations, which is certainly within his ability, but it raises the difficulty from 3
3.
to 4.
Oh, nice. It's very good. So, are we doing this third roll now?
We'll give Anya an opportunity to... There's not a lot that she can do. She can see that systems are failing on the Fontana as he's making his way down.
Okay. There's only one thing I can do, which is to attempt to use the superior communications and information on the Avicenna and actually send a burst of that information to him. So it's like patching in our assessment, our information packet.
I love it.
To
that'll add a die to the roll. That's perfect.
Awesome.
So, and
So you get a plus
before.
1 die.
I get assistance or
You get assistance
No.
from Anya.
from Anya. Yeah.
But only if he gets a success, so that
Yes,
I can
yeah,
roll.
yeah.
Got it. I am prepared.
All right. Okay. So Anson Yang is now holding the stick, and it's figuring out this is going a bit way stronger than expected.
And doing all the mental calculations of
and mental calculations. So it will be control and command. Well, what I'm thinking here is I'm going to use my daring
do it.
and con.
Daring and con. Love it.
Daring
It's
and con.
time.
Okay, and also I'm going to use my bold talent, which requires me to spy threat.
Yep.
And
How many dice would you like?
yes, that's
Oh,
what I'm
well.
thinking.
Yeah, just how screwed up do you want your parents to be? That's what you're buying.
And here's the thing, since this is the last, the last section of the test, I was trying to find opportunity moment to insert, like thinking back of what his brother said. So let's buy, you know what? Let's just buy 3 dice with threat.
Awesome. I think the meeting with the brother would be hugely unsettling.
Yeah. This is by 3 dice with threat. That's 6 threat. And with bow, I believe I'm entitled to re-roll 1 of them.
Yep, 1.
Yep. So 5 dice.
Ooh. It's like the meatiest handful of dice in a player's hand for the whole game so far.
Any additional complications or
No, not this time.
No? This is not really. Okay, I've rolled 4 dice. I have. This is actually very confusing. Okay. I have 2 failures. I have a 1, and
So
I
that's
have
2
a
successes.
4. Yes, I have 1, 2 successes. I have a 4, which is under my con focus.
Okay.
So that's
4
So that's
successes.
2 more, right?
4. That's 4, and I'll roll the last dice.
Yep.
A 20.
And I'll get to roll my die right now.
So here's the thing. I have bold,
Anthony?
so
Yeah,
I get
go
to
ahead.
re-roll.
Wait.
Right.
I want to re-roll.
You want,
I've
you want
already
to
spent 6 threat. I want to re-roll the complication die. The
I
20.
think that's wise. Yeah, re-roll the 20. Yeah.
And it becomes an 11, so that's a success. He was success.
So that's 5 successes. Anya.
20.
I love dice.
You are not.
I mean,
you
it's
are
perfect.
not escaping. You are. Yeah, hey, it's the successes that really matter here. Okay, we're all right with complications. Just letting Anthony put the complication.
I've got 1
in your
momentum
pocket.
and 1
Do
complication.
something
I'm
awful.
fine with that.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
That evens out. For me, that evens out.
Okay.
You can put 2 more trade in the pool, or I can.
So
I'm
I think
I'm
what
leaning
happens is that
I'm leaning
right,
about
I
going.
patch it in, and if it's okay, I have an idea that I send the information from the Avicenna. But what it really does, instead of just making his, information board, complicated or fritzy, it just fritzes it out. It just goes dark.
Communications go down. Right. So there's
Communications go down.
There's a period of time where the cadets aren't certain what happened to Ensign Yang before the signal from Starbase 11 is revealed, and there's the Fontana landed safely. Ensign Yang has earned a point.
Right. He comes out and he's like, the instrument board went completely dark.
Then the communication shot.
Instead of adding a complication to that, which has no real any place to go, I'm adding 2 threat to the pool. And okay.
There you go. I'm just going to leave the die on the table with a 20 showing just to, just so it can think about what it did.
Beautiful. Right. I almost killed Ensign Yang. No. Now, the cadets, and we'll represent this pretty quickly. Right. So this is one more roll. This will again be assisted between the two of them, with Ensign Yang as the lead and Anya as the support. So this is presence plus command for both of them to establish how well they communicated all the important lessons, the flight controller lessons, the teamwork lessons, you got to be prepared for everything, but yet
things can go horribly wrong, right?
Yeah.
You do the right thing, doesn't happen, right?
Cool. Right. Make it happen.
Oh, can I say something about about my experience in teaching people that precise lesson?
Go for it.
They want to know what you do so that nothing can go wrong. That's what they're here to learn. You're the expert, right? You're brought in, you're the prof, you're the expert. You're going to tell them how to do this so that it won't go wrong. And you teach them the lesson of it's going to.
Yeah.
It's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe not this time, next time. When you do the right thing. And that's the worst. They do not want to learn that. They don't want to learn that. You do the right thing and it goes wrong. Wait, what? Right? Yeah.
When you teach blade work, there's always a very difficult conversation about your likelihood of surviving an actual confrontation.
Oh, for God's sake. Someone's getting cut.
And when you use big blades like I do, it's more like you're not just getting cut, you're getting maimed or killed. And but that's not what it's like in the movies. It's like,
No, gunfighter. you brought a knife to a gunfight, and it's like,
what else would you think is going to happen?
yeah.
All right, so let's teach the children well.
All right, your roll.
Okay.
I didn't tell you the difficulty. All right, this is a fairly large class of cadets which we're representing in one roll, so the difficulty is going to be quite high. Right, that we get through it without incident. Right, difficulty is actually 5.
Brutal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Extended roll on teaching.
1 roll.
Shoot, how are we going to get over this?
Difficulty 5, and I'm spending 2 of my huge pile of threat to increase the complication range to 16.
16.
Now you might be wondering,
Wow, I'd rather fight Gorn than teach cadets.
why is this so difficult? Right? Why is this so difficult? These particular cadets are incredibly driven, and they are here for this, but also for other very stressful things. Such as the murmur of conversation in the room is about Ensign Yang, right? Ensign Yang's father, or not Ensign, So the diplomat Yang and his mother Yang, right? Who are revered, let's say, for their past diplomatic achievements, and if we could get on their staff, if we could get their attention,
We're up against the pre-meds.
These people are very familiar to Ensign Yang, right? The leader among men, right? So, just to put it in context, why is the difficulty so high? Okay.
So it's more like impressing them rather than teaching them. Then.
Right. The problem here is that their regard for the instructor, or cautious regard for the instructor, is actually hampering their learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're going to take risks to stand out, and et cetera, et cetera. So we can imagine Anya is standing behind each cadet at the communications console, and we can imagine that Ensign Yang is serving as the co-pilot on the way down. Nobody's going to die as a result of this, but the complications are going to be ugly in a social context.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one will die. I mean, it's possible that someone will die, but go.
All right. How much do we have on the momentum pool?
I will show you, because that's why I've been keeping track. Whoosh. So I just have to move this up.
This is a pretty decent place to bring out some values actually for Yang. However, there is that consideration of, do I need my value later on when I'm talking to the family?
Well, remember,
I'd
things
say
like
go. We got a
determination
ton
can
of values,
be
right? We got
restored.
like 3 or 4. So go ahead and use one. You know, this is drama.
No,
I love
the
it.
determination. Is the
Determination
Yes.
can be restored if values get
Find the
complicated. So if
Mhm.
when you're playing your character and things start to get
Yes.
ugly, right? We may see the road for an opportunity for me to make one of those
Restore the
devil's
right.
bargain suggestions, right?
And if there is anywhere where your values get devil's bargained, it's in your family conference, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Difficulty
Yeah,
5.
you know what? I think.
Yeah.
Difficulty 5. Oh, sorry, I missed the momentum pool. I think it's 3.
It's
Yeah, it was on the screen and I blinked.
6. It's full.
6.
Full. Wow.
Yeah,
It's
rock and roll.
full.
Rock and roll. Let's teach some
Full.
kids.
I still get the assistance from Anya.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
And
So
I'll
the
do
complication
a
range
value
is 16 and higher.
And 16 and higher.
Oh, even better.
Oh.
Anya's going to use her value, not challenge it.
Uh,
Use her value and tell the cadets right there standing with her. She's going to actually name, and Anthony, tell me how many pilots that the Avicenna has lost in this line of duty since the mission started. She's been with the Avicenna since this mission started. How many pilots have been lost in line of duty? Just one? Okay. I will name that pilot to the cadets. I'll just say the name.
Right.
And it'll be, I don't know.
You remember the shuttle in Korsakov's flashback.
Right. Okay.
The pilot was
Good.
the guy at the corner of the ship.
Excellent. In that case,
God.
that person's name, I'm looking at, actually, I'm doing what I always do. I'm looking at my game titles and looking for game authors. Right.
I actually put up made a list of supporting characters in the series. If you want to
Excellent.
pull a name from the series itself.
No. I've
That's a bit too on the nose though.
yeah.
Like, what's the difference with this O'Neill and that O'Neill?
Right. We already have a Tomlinson as our homage to.
The Tomlinson.
Right.
While Ron's picking it out. Yeah.
Gunter was his name.
Gunter.
Okay. Gunter.
Gunter. Yeah.
Okay.
The author of the game Genesis. Okay, so she'll say Lieutenant Gunter, and they'll kind of look at her funny, and she says, "Lost in the course of action," and that you name the planet 1 year ago.
Okay.
And then she punches the buttons. Shuttlecraft pilot, lost in the course of action 1 year ago. So, spirit of the mission.
I'm gonna buy 2 dice, and before I come to that decision, let me just clarify. Can I apply my focus for inspiration?
Yes, please.
That works.
Then I will buy 2 dice instead of 3. I will buy 2 dice, banking on inspiration to inspire somebody. So that's 4 dices. I'm not spending any determination at this point. And that allows me to go into my untapped potential when or if the time is needed. So here we go. Setting some command. Oh, this just gets better. This is
I don't like the sound of that. Better
Oh.
and better how? Better good, better
I don't know.
bad.
I think I just have. I don't know. This feels like a moment that I will show it to you on camera. Hopefully the light hits it. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can barely.
Okay, I just need to angle this.
I see a single digit, another single digit. Those are
Oh,
good.
okay.
That's good news.
Tell you what, I'll just take it off and just put it as on the brighter spot, and you can read it for yourself.
I see a 20 and a
I don't
20
see
And
and
a
a 15.
15.
No,
and
18.
an 18.
What's the orange die?
Also a 20. I've hit maximum complication. This is
Ah, well, I'm just glad this isn't happening during my hearing.
I still get untapped potential, but let's just work this
Yes.
out.
Which one of those would you like to
No,
to
I'm just rolling a
re-roll?
challenge
So
dice.
are you saying
I'm
that
just
like
rolling a challenge dice.
the whole thing just explodes, right? I mean, is that really where we're going with this? Like the simulation just
Let's see. That's
explodes?
a total of 8 thread if you decide to convert them into thread.
It's gotta explode.
Of 4 complications.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay, so Game Master, you've just rolled like 5, 7, and 7 through 9s in a row for Apocalypse World. What the hell's going on?
Do you which one do you want to re-roll?
No, I'm not rerolling. I'm just getting a challenge dice of momentum.
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot. 1.
One. Okay.
You've gained.
I mean, I spend 3. I get 1. So yeah, the math.
I can't roll a support die, so basically, Smith just takes
I
her
don't-
hands off the
Yeah,
console.
I don't believe any of the immediate spend for momentum here allows me for rerolls.
Right.
Just as a matter of consideration.
Right. Okay.
No,
Correct.
it means that's correct.
Yeah.
So that means I believe we have 3 in the pool right now. We had 6. I spent 3, and then we gained back 1. So that's
Yep.
4.
Yeah, 4.
What's the cost? It's one point per reroll per dice.
If you use determination, you can re-roll the whole thing.
The whole thing. Oh,
That's
Is
probably
this-
a pretty good idea.
is this the time I can still use determination at this point? After the.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow.
You have to if you're going to use determination for perfect
Reroll.
opportunity, you have to do it before the roll because it's
Okay.
successes, right?
Yeah.
But the others are not tied to
After.
that. So.
Oh, okay. You know what? Let's call this a desperation act from Yang.
Yeah,
That
and
is much
the
more
value,
ready to.
the value leader among men definitely,
Yeah.
stands out. So.
Yeah. And
Um,
how complicated.
Maybe the
your pattern is.
the potentially disastrous situation is expressed by Anya at her console when it's not a measured like lesson for the cadets like she just did a minute ago. Now it's like, oh no.
Right.
Oh no.
Just a
It's
shoulder
kind
to
of
the
interesting. It's kind of
Yeah, it's
interesting
like get
because-
away from there. It's like the mom with the kids in the back of the station wagon, right? The hand just goes out, to sweep them backward.
As a role-playing moment,
Oh,
I think it's
no.
kind of cool for Yang because he's done everything technically right by the book. His technical
Right.
performance is on spot, but he has always been had to deal with this social aspect of doing things and achieving something. All right, almost as horrible, not as bad though. So let's have a look. Complication range is 16.
Yeah.
So I have 1 complication.
Oh,
And
could be worse.
For my presence and command, that means I have 3 successes for the rest, which is still not enough to the difficulty of 5.
Okay.
So it's a fail with complication.
So this is an opportunity to succeed at cost of a complication, which is going to relate to Yang in this capacity as, like flight training.
Well, he's already got that.
Or you can just fail.
I'll just fail. I'll just fail that it's not good enough. It's not good
Okay.
enough.
So the complication that you've earned on your reroll.
The roll.
If you had accepted the complication, I just would have given it a value of 2. Right, same complication doubled. But the complication you've earned is that a loss of confidence in Yang in this capacity. This was an opportunity, a political opportunity sent his way, which
He hasn't done.
He hasn't done, right? So the likelihood of gaining an opportunity like this again, which is like a fast track toward promotion, has been put at risk unless he can do something to change people's perspective, right? So please add this to your sheet. This is an ongoing trait for you.
Ooh, interesting.
Interesting.
All right, and this scene comes to an
Can't
end.
get no respect, something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, how should I word it?
Starfleet faith shaken in Yang as officer material.
Maybe not officer material. Right.
All right, so looking at the time, I really need to bring the episode to a close.
Or session, rather.
The session, yeah, it's all over. Yep, done. The session to a close. And we will do so with a cut scene. Right. So as Lieutenant Korsakov is leaving medical, as Ensign Yang and Anya are leaving the final debriefing of the training scenario, and everyone's moving toward their quarters to now go on leave, right? And not Korsakov, he has to prepare for his deposition, but you're heading toward free time, and there is a contingent of officers, right? So there is Captain Stian Anders in his full dress uniform, walking with 2 civilian, obviously legal attorneys or representatives, legal counsel, and First Officer Embuto, and he's walking with legal counsel.
Isn't there some way we can ever prevent these out of the courtroom confrontations from happening? Can't we have like in 2, like, can't somebody deal with the foot traffic design so this never happens? I think they would have figured this out in the future by now. Yeah.
And there's just Stian Anders looks fit, right? He looks older, hair has grayed, but he looks in good shape. He's highly decorated chest, and he steps forward. The counsel is saying, no, you can't speak to him, and he gives them that command look, and they just kind of cut off, and he just walks up to Embuto and says, "First Officer, well deserved." And we fade to black.
Okay, boy, out the car.
What's wrong, officer?
You're in a lot of trouble, boy. Violation City Orders 11-14, operating a racing type vehicle inside the city limits.
Oh, officer, this is the new Dodge Challenger RT. It's not a racer.
Ain't I? What kind of tires, them, boy?
Optional polyglass GTs.
Racing tires. Them stripes, that boy, what you call those?
Racing stripes.
I suppose that's a reconverted lawnmower motor.
Optional 440 Magnum V8.
What's that doohickey in that, boy?
That's the optional speed gate racing shift. So look, it's got concealed wipers, and it's got dual headlights. You don't find that on any racer, do you?
Careful, boy. I'll book you as a law officer.
If you can handle the way people react to your 1970 Dodge Challenger, you could be Dodge material.
Now look, boy, I know a race car when I see one.
You're watching Channel 3, SF TV.
People, let me tell you.
Stay tuned tonight as Eddie's father is exposed to gamma radiation.